The top news headlines. Chief Minister Ann Biren informs goods-laden trucks heading towards Imphal appeals to people not to worry. Biren launches Jal Shakti Abhiyan Catch the Rain campaign 2022. And government's war on drugs 2.0 gets intensified. A very good evening. You're watching the Mami TV English News in focus with me, CHENGLEINGANBI KHAIDEM. The news in detail. Chief Minister Ann Biren has said goods-laden trucks and passenger vehicles stranded along Imphal to Jiribam and Tending Tamai road are heading towards Imphal and appeal to the people not to panic. Many stranded trucks carrying goods and passenger vehicles owing to the indefinite ban called by the Southern Angami public organizations have left Jiribam for Imphal in the early morning today. In his message to the public through social media platforms, Biren appealed to the people not to worry over the ban along the national highway as the state government is monitoring the situation round the clock. The government is making arrangements to ensure that the stranded vehicles reach Imphal. Around 200 oil and gas tankers left Lengang Pokpi outpost Jiribam for Imphal this morning with adequate security escorts, he said. The Chief Minister further appealed to businessmen not to hike prices of commodities on the pretext of the ban. Chief Minister Ann Biren and his Council of Ministers have launched Jal Shakti Abhiyan Catch the Rain campaign 2022 at Chief Minister's Secretariat today. Top government officials also took part in the launching program held on the theme Catch the Rain where it falls when it falls. Speaking on the occasion, Chief Minister Ann Biren urged the ministers and officials of different departments to give priority on rainwater harvesting and to construct tanks and develop other infrastructure required for rainwater harvesting on official campus. He also appealed to educational institutes and individuals to take up rainwater harvesting and urged top government officials and their ministers to take responsibility in making the campaign successful. Stating that now is the right time to take up water harvesting and to plant more tree saplings, the Chief Minister appealed to every individual to help in bringing a green Manipur. The Council of Minister government officials led by the Chief Minister pledged to take up rainwater harvesting as part of the launching program. The war on drugs 2.0 continues unabated. Yesterday, to a combine of 10 Assam Rifles, Manipur Police, Narcotics and Border Affairs and Forest personnel destroyed around 22 acres of poppy plantations at Longa Hill Range in Kangpokpi district. The team of security forces destroyed the poppy plantations at Hill Range of Langa Quarrying by setting on fire. Taking to Facebook, Chief Minister Ann Biren urged the poppy cultivators to surrender and cultivate other high-yielding crops. The government will extend all possible assistance, the Chief Minister said. Convener of Committee on Suitable Guideline for Non-Funded Private Rehab Centers, Agosem Herozit, while appreciating the government for pulling up 3 staff of Brightway Drugs De-Addiction Center located at Lambal, Makhalekai on March 27th after a video of assaulting inmates of the center went viral on social media, appealed to the government to set a suitable guidelines for private rehabilitation centers to ensure no such cruel treatment towards the inmate is repeated in future. Speaking to media persons at a press meet held at Chingtam Hotel at North AOC today, Herozit stated that many unwanted incidents have occurred in the past, and when the committee, which is a union of 70 private rehab centers, tried to intervene and take actions, commotions erupted. Stating that the committee could not take law in their hands and take actions against the said center, he lauded the chief minister for pulling up staff of the center who assaulted the inmates. Herozit further stated that committee has been urging the government to form a specific guideline for non-funded private rehab centers which are functioning with any help from the concerned ministry. When there is suitable guideline for these private rehab centers, treatment of the inmates can be done with ease and unwanted incidents will be reduced to a great extent, he said. Pointing out that a separate guideline for private rehab centers has been included in State Gazette, Herozit maintained that the committee cannot accept the Social Welfare Department's instructions to follow the same guidelines as that of rehab centers which is funded by the ministry. He further urged the authority concerned to set suitable guideline for non-funded private rehab centers at the earliest.
Rehab center namuna guideline guideline rehab centers private rehab centers guideline chanaba chunaba lamdam chunaba guideline semu haina gazeta manipuri gazeta already yawram hoji phoba khoi semduna lebasi ni maramna khoi namuna ama leitri tawdo registration ki matang sida social welfare department na register to haiba am khaglai masi cabinet meeting da amaga kagibo lay October 15 October 2020 da madudi government ki center thumba centers na sanagadaba makhali guideline ko su sanagadaba haiba am khaglai madudi akoi mamang da bisu akoi ngamoi haibani aduga ko su ko ngamoi haigani.
MLA of Moirang Assembly Constituency Thongam Santi has inspected the conditions of Turelu River, which has dried up due to the felling of trees at Thangzing Hill Range, causing hardship among the villagers yesterday. The MLA also took stock of the dam constructed at Turelu River, sources of water for villagers of Kangbai, Kwakta and Kumbi Assembly constituencies during the inspection visit at Molhoi village, which is the source of Turelu River in Henglep Assembly constituency in Churachandpur district. He also inspected water reservoir and intake points in the area. Chief of Molhoi village, villagers of Kwakta and members of NPP Moirang block accompanied the MLA during the visit. Speaking on the sidelines, MLA Thongam Santi said villagers of Kwakta, Kumbi and Kangwai are facing scarcity of water as the water reservoir at Molhoi village is no longer functional. He assured that he will soon take up repair work of the water reservoir and will provide safe drinking water to the villagers at the earliest. Officials of Minor Irrigations Department will also be consulted to address the problems faced by farmers of Moirang, Thanga and Kumbi due to constructions of dam at Turelu River, which obstructs the flow of water, he said. Besides, MLAs of Kumbi and Thanga Assembly constituencies will also be consulted before taking up the work, MLA Thongam Santi said.
Moirang Turel pay maram ade Moirang Turel da chilaka do ising ade Moirang Turel mang hige sowa labbi se tam se su part amanela ai lawjaraga ado masigi tam se emai gi sibina ga koi tan jaraga kamai to daga basi dismetel tawraga akoi nonghuna na mu Turelu dagi Moirang Turel ni ising si lakna na ba hotna na ba do akoi emai si ga su tan jaraga ni ado ai mari le mo thori da ai eze emele moina ai masigi apil tawjaraga makoi khanajaraga ai soidana maki Moirang Turel gi leidiba kamni bai singje hai ba Turel bisai laknoi mari se semna na do ai ngasigi pungsa sidagi khangjarbanina madi sabsaba thabak pakto loi honna
Jawahar Navodaya Vidyalaya Bisnupur held a press meet today at its principal office on Pariksha Pe Charcha to be held on April 1 at 11 a.m. at Talkotara Stadium, New Delhi. Addressing the media at his office, Principal of JNB Bishnupur and Nodal Officer of Pariksha Pe Charcha 2022 for Bishnupur District, Dr. Mahesh Kumar said, tremendous pressure from family, peers and society to obtain good marks instead of acquiring life skill which can be translated into real life may create a mental disorder situations among the student community, event leading to committing suicide. This outdated cycle of perform or perish must be perished from every section of this society, he said. Prime Minister Narendra Modi initiated Pariksha Pe Charcha since 2018 to interact, advise and encourage students to overcome all situations confronted during the exam. Mahesh appealed to all the students, teachers and parents community of Bishnupur district to witness the program for the benefit of the younger generation.
That the event Pariksha Pe Charcha will be held on April 1st, 2022 at 11 am at Talkatora Stadium, New Delhi, wherein 1000 students from different schools in the Delhi NCR region will attend and get an opportunity to interact with Prime Minister. The event will be live telecast on Doordarshan, DD National, DD News, DD India, radio channels, TV channels, digital media including YouTube channels, etc. Pariksha Pe Charcha is a unique initiative taken by PM Modi to help students overcome the fear of examination.
General Body Meeting for United Manipur Muslim Women's Development Organizations was held today at Khabaisoi Mayai Laika in Imphal East District to appoint office bearers for the next term. President of Amokuk, SM Jalal, Advocate Rabi Khan, Mami TV's anchors Mira Kori and President of PASVA, MA Halimsa attended the meeting. Anwari Nurzahan was appointed as the president of UMDO for the term of 2022 to 2024. Speaking on the occasion, Anwari said Muslim women organizations has been actively taking part in every women-related issues in the state since 1993. UMDO was established in 2006 and has been able to serve the people with the love from Manipur and around the world, she said. Even though the organization was not able to reform due to some problems, Anwari sought people's support for the new office bearers.
Iramdam izati ki damakta thabak tawgani haina mayung yagani ekhoi leiba ki damakta thabak tawgani haina asiti pangan nupi kaya na mapung phana umdo mapangan kanba pangan nupi ki organization am oihendaba yade haiba phirep ko loina na chokthokira liba asibu haibadi aduki matik harau jabaga loina na 100 lakh kadoriba anau reformation stage da aikoina matik chaba member secretary president miyam gi thaupu gadaba thamoi sengwa sing ba phajana maram chana khanaba friend friend kana gi karigumba ma phaw insengba yaudana yamna ning khatamna pho semba adugumba organization ama oihanabagi pandam to chapchana thamjabaga loinana madugi thawra madu pangthokchari.
India recorded 1,259 fresh COVID-19 cases with 35 deaths in the last 24 hours. This brought the total number of cases to over 4.30 crore and active cases declined to 15,378 according to Union Health Ministry data. The active cases comprise 0.04% of the total infections and the national COVID-19 recovery rate was recorded at 98.75%. A reduction of 1,705 cases has been recorded in the active COVID-19 caseload in a span of 24 hours that led the cumulative tally of recovered patients to 4.24 crore. The daily positivity rate was recorded at 0.22% while the weekly positivity rate stood at 0.25%, the ministry said. Meanwhile, 183.53 crore vaccine doses have been administered under nationwide vaccination drive. On the other hand, COVID-19 vaccination for the age group 12 to 14 years exceeded 1.36 crore across the country. Prime Minister Narendra Modi asked BJP MPs to undertake various programs as part of Samajik Nyay Pakhwada fortnight dedicated to social justice from its foundation day on April 6, and also asserted that it is the only ruling party which has recognized the contributions of every Prime Minister by building a museum to honor them. With the birth anniversary of B.R. Ambedkar, architect of the constitutions, falling on April 14, Modi at the BJP's parliamentary party meeting asked party MPs to reach out to people, especially the disadvantaged sections of society like scheduled castes, to highlight various government programs for their welfare. Quoting him, Union Minister Arjun Ram Meghwal told reporters that Modi asked parliamentarians to work to spread awareness about the central government's welfare scheme for housing, nutrition and free grants, among others. Petrol and diesel prices in India have started to soar as domestic oil marketing companies have been revising fuel rates. On Tuesday, petrol and diesel prices were hiked for the 7th time since the ending of a 4.5-month-long hiatus in revision on March 22. On the first 4 occasions, prices were increased by 80 paise a litre, the steepest single-day rise since the daily price revision was introduced in June 2017. On Sunday, petrol prices went up by 50 paise a litre and diesel by 50 paise, and on Monday, petrol price was hiked by 30 paise a litre and diesel by 35 paise. Today, the rates was increased by 80 to 85 paise and 75 paise respectively for petrol and diesel. Overall, petrol price has gone up by Rs 4.80 to Rs 4.85 per litre, and diesel rate has been hiked by Rs 4.85 a litre. Fuel rates have been increased across the country, but prices vary from state to state depending upon the incidence of local taxation. India has agreed to develop 3 Sri Lankan wind farms on islet between the country, officials say today, in a victory for New Delhi after the project was taken away from a Chinese firm. New Delhi has long been alarmed about the growing Chinese influence in the region. A 12 million project to build wind turbines on 3 small islands in the Port Strait between southern India and Sri Lanka was awarded to a Chinese firm in 2019, with funding lined up from the Asian Development Bank. But after Indian protests about Chinese activities so close to its coast, work never began, and the project on the islets of Nainativu, Analaitivu and Delft was later scrapped. A joint statement issued after a visit to Colombo, West India's Foreign Minister S. J. Shankar said a memorandum of understanding had been signed to build the installations. Russia will only use nuclear weapons when there is a threat to the existence of the state, Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov said in an interview with PBS NewsHour. He added that they have a security concept that very clearly states that only when there is a threat to the existence of the state, they can and will actually use nuclear weapons to eliminate the threat to the existence of our country. Days after Russian troops invaded Ukraine, Russian President Putin has announced on February 28 that he had put the country's strategic nuclear forces on high alert, triggering global alarm. Now, in the interview of Monday, Dmitry Peskov said that any outcome of Russia's operation in Ukraine would not be a reason for use of nuclear weapons. Meanwhile, on US President Joe Biden's Putin cannot remain in power, remarked Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov said it was a cause for alarm. Now, let's recap the headlines once again. Chief Minister Ann Biren informs goods-laden trucks heading towards Imphal appeals to people not to worry. Chief Minister Ann Biren launches Jal Shakti Abhiyan Catch the Rain campaign 2022. And government's war on drug 2.0 gets intensified. That's the end for today's News English Bulletin. Keep watching Mami TV News for more update.